Hi, this is Carl, and this is another SOP video for managed service providers. Here's a question. When should you give raises and how? It's the beginning of the year, so it's a great time to talk about raises. For a lot of people, that's a normal time to have those conversations with your employees. The first thing I'd say is that you should have a good, solid quarterly review process for setting goals and evaluating employees. But that is basically an ongoing feedback loop. It's not related to raises directly. In other words, the evaluation, the setting of goals, the constant feedback, that's just part of running your business. So employees shouldn't expect a raise every time there's a quarterly review. Raises should be, as a rule, about once a year. Anniversary dates are good. Some companies like to do it in groups based on the end of the quarter. Some do it just annually in January, February, March, that sort of thing. So pick something and standardize on that. Remember, when it comes to employment law, one of the most important things you can do is treat everybody the same way so nobody has an excuse to go talk to the government about the way that you're running your business. I'm a big fan of the 90-day probation system, which means basically you hire somebody with certain set goals for the first 90 days. They've got a certain wage for the first 90 days, and then they get a bump based on how well they actually perform during that period. This was always a good time to make sure, for example, that everybody had at least one exam under their belt. So back in the days of Small Business Server, we would make sure that people passed the 70-282 exam. Today, I would require any Microsoft exam for technicians, any Office exam for front office staff. Basically, if you want to keep your job, you got to pass an exam. That way you can say to your employees and your clients, everybody who works here is Microsoft certified. So when you've got that kind of probation system in place, it makes it very easy to say, okay, there becomes a raise at the end of the probation period into your quote-unquote normal salary, followed by annual raises after that. Now, annual raises are not guaranteed. If you're not making money or you're not making any more money than you did last year, I'm sorry, you don't get to give out raises if you don't have the money coming in. That's the hard, cold reality. You can't hurt yourself in order to help your employees. On the other hand, employees can expect on a normal year that there will be a raise equivalent to the cost of living. In other words, you can't decrease their wages when you're having a good year simply because inflation has eaten away on their buying power. Finally, there are special circumstances, most of which you want to avoid at all costs. Special circumstances fall into three categories. First of all, young people who have not much experience in the workforce are going to come in and say, oh, I just got married, I just had a kid, I need a raise. Well, guess what? Getting a raise is not based on how many kids you have or how you lead your lifestyle. And so they need to learn that early on in their career. That's why I say young people do this. Almost nobody who's 40 years old comes in and says, hey, I changed my lifestyle, I need you to give me more money. So that can be avoided very easily. The second thing that happens is that somebody will come in and say, I'm going to quit if you don't give me more money. And third is related to that, which is, I've got an offer somewhere else, and if you give me enough money, I'll stay. In both of those situations, your long-term best bet is to let them walk away. No one is going to come to you under those circumstances if they are happy every day in their job, because at the end of the day, money is not the reason they're looking to leave you. If they're looking to leave you, you need to have that conversation completely separate from talking about money. And then you can have a conversation about whether or not you are getting the value of what you expect for what you're paying them. Remember, this is a business relationship. So you can't give them a raise just because you like them, and you can't give them a raise just because they are threatening to go somewhere else. If they're threatening to go somewhere else, they're probably in a game-playing mood and not looking at the best interest of your company. So with luck, that won't happen to you at all this year, but with luck, you'll set down some standard operating procedures to make it normalized about how you give raises and when people can expect them. Put your comments down below, and I would take any feedback you have. This is Carl Palachuk from Small Biz Thoughts, wishing you the best of luck in your managed service business. Like it if you like it, share it with your friends, and absolutely subscribe to the channel.